I really don't want to be making this video while I'm walking somewhere, but I also really don't want to be late for work again because I was sitting in my bedroom making a video. So, you know, guess which one I chose? I think I mentioned yesterday that I was going to see Beauty and the Beast last night, which happens to be one of my favorite musicals. I highly recommend you see it if you have the chance, because whoever told you puns aren't funny was lying to you. Now, as always, I was awed and inspired by Gaston. Gaston is actually one of my favorite Disney characters of all time because I think he is the scariest villain that Disney has ever come up with. Gaston is terrifying because he could be anyone in the world. He's used to getting what he wants and he can justify anything he does. He justifies bribery, blackmail, throwing people into an asylum, murder, all in order to get the girl. In fact, the idea of getting the girl, of overcoming female objections through repeated and escalated efforts, is kind of central to most romance stories these days. I mean, Gaston harassed, stalked, and planned a wedding for Belle because he thought he was entitled to her. He persisted in pursuing Belle after she turned him down because he, as a male, felt fundamentally entitled to have her and to persist in his pursuit of her. As most romance novels and movies will tell you, guys are supposed to persist and they're supposed to keep going after the same girl when they turn them down. Because when a girl says no to you, they're not turning down you, they're turning down how you asked her. And let me guarantee you that this is not true. If I turn you down, it's because I don't like you. And certainly, I don't accuse Gaston of something so high as reading, but Gaston did buy into the culturally perpetuated idea that exists in his story, that men have to persist, and it shows the negative side of that idea, and it does it very well. What I think the most horrifying thing about Gaston, though, is his power over other people. I mean, even though the townspeople seem to like Belle and her father, they just lock both of them up and storm to a castle because Gaston said to. Gaston's considered the town hero, so everyone follows him without a second thought. But how often do we do this? How often do we let other people control us because they are our leaders? And how easy is it to convince us to betray people we like? And how easy is it to convince us who should be the leader, even if they're bad at it? Gaston's brilliant because he starts out as this narcissistic, conceited, and humorous buffoon who was essentially harmless to everyone. He was just kind of a jerk. But then he turned into this menacing villain so seamlessly. People do that too. People do that all the time. Not everyone can be a sea witch granting wishes to mermaids with an ulterior motive, and not everyone can be a Machiavellian politician who happens to have magic powers and is a sorcerer and just uses those to get close to the king and become his finest advisor. But anyone can be Gaston, and that is truly terrifying because there are people like him that exist in this world. And that is the scariest thing I have ever seen in a Disney movie.